What's going on, everybody? It's Tyler with Tyler Talks Travel Trailers here at Albuquerque RV in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And today we will be touring a unit you guys have been requesting for quite some time now. This is going to be the No Boundaries 19.2. I'm talking factory fresh 2026. So I'm very excited to show this to you. It's very similar to the Flagstaff ePro 19FD. But I think they knocked this out of the park, and it is better than the Flagstaff ePro 19FD because it's a lot more spacious in here. You're going to have higher interior ceilings. So like in the ePros, it does get a little tight in the shower and in the living space. This is just an overall really nice layout. It doesn't have a slide out, so it's one less thing to worry about. And hey, it's just for a couple. It's plenty of room, in my opinion. You do have a dinette that you can convert into a bed. So if you have an occasional guest, maybe a grandchild will come once in a while, you have the opportunity to do that as well. There's a lot of things we're going to talk about on this layout, including the Beast Mode suspension, which has a lot of perks to it, other than it just being able to get you anywhere you want to go. So this thing will get you off the beaten path. If you're not wanting to camp on top of other people, that's what this trailer is designed for, and I think you guys are really going to like this layout. But first, we are going to do the specs. It takes me 1 minute to do those specs, and then we'll dive inside. Let's go, guys. So the basic specs on this 2026 No Boundaries 19.2 with the Beast Mode package. Your unloaded vehicle weight is 4,024 pounds. Your cargo carrying capacity is 1,396 pounds, which brings your potential fully loaded weight to 5,420 pounds. Your hitch weight is 550 pounds. Your exterior length is 21 feet 10 inches total. Your exterior height is 10 feet 11 inches. Your exterior width is 7 feet 4 inches. Your tanks, your fresh water tank is 30 gallons. Your gray water tank is 30 gallons. And your black tank is 30 gallons. Your awning size is 14 feet. Let's jump inside. Awesome, everybody. Now that we got those specs done, we are going to start with the inside and work our way out. If you are new to the channel, welcome. We are going to be talking a lot about features and benefits, construction, and I also include measurements on the interior. So I try to include as much info as I can, and I figure once you're sick of hearing me, you can just shut me off. But we are going to dive into the 19.2 Beast Mode Couples Coach. Love this brand. Built extremely well. There is ways you can buy this. You can buy it like the standard C package, or you can get the Beast Mode package. And the Beast Mode package does include a lot of other things other than just the suspension, and we will get into that. But overall, really nice layout. It does not feel like it doesn't have a slide. A lot of people get kind of worried about a slide out, so if that is you, this does feel plenty spacious without the slide out. And the thing that's helping it a lot is the Murphy bed. Huge fan of Murphy beds. I think me personally, if I was looking at a trailer 25 feet and under, the Murphy bed is the way to go because look at all this floor space. I recently just delivered one too that had a Murphy bed, and there's a lot of benefits to it. But we'll put this down real quick so I can show you the actual setup. So as you notice, this does have your couch. On the Flagstaff ePro, you do get recliners. They're not like theater seating, so that is one plus to the ePro. But I love the color scheme that they use on the interior of these, the fabric as well as the cabinetry. But once you're ready to put this down, look how simple this is. Plop this down, bring your bed down, and the nice thing about this is on the Flagstaff 19FD, the ePro, your bed is just a full. And what I love that they did in this is they gave you a true 60 by 80 queen bed in this size of unit without a slide. That is huge. So the full definitely feels a lot. You just don't have enough room. If you toss and turn at night, I do a lot. My girlfriend, she would go nuts. So getting that little extra space is going to help a lot. So you are getting a 60 by 80 residential queen. Benefits of that is you can go out and buy yourself a nice topper or another residential mattress, because I always say it doesn't matter what brand you go with, the mattresses kind of suck. But this isn't too bad, honestly. But instead of it being 60 by 74, you can go out and get yourself a 60 by 80 and it'll fit there perfectly without overhanging. Love that. And you saw how easy it is to put it up and down. You got your front windshield up there, which is nice, lets in some natural light. And then there is ways to protect it. So don't be too worried about it like cracking or anything like that. They make covers that go over top of it, or we even sell like glass defense, stuff like that. Ooh, it's even got these lights on the sides that I forgot to turn on. If you have a CPAP machine, this does look like a good spot to maybe put it. I did not measure these, but I was told that CPAP machines are a little smaller now. And what's good is you got plugs right there. You got a standard plug and your USB-C plug. You got those on both sides, and we'll talk about the plugs when we get a little further, but there's some nice benefits to these plugs because of the options this unit has. So let me try to get off of this without getting my shoes on here. But overall, really nice setup. Like that you're getting the queen instead of the fool, if that is important to you. And they didn't sacrifice any room really by going with the residential queen. Let me get my sticky notes stuck on my shoe real quick. So let's say you have guests, you know, it's raining out, or you're hanging out with friends, it's raining out and people want to come inside. You don't want them sitting right on your bed. So all you got to do is flip this up. Very simple. It locks into place right there. And then you just roll this and bam, you got yourself a nice seating arrangement so you could sit 4 people in here. Or I like this idea because, you know, sometimes you go hiking or you're out on the town, you're walking a lot, you want to come back, you want to kick back on a couch. You don't always want to sit more on a rigid dinette area. So having the couch and the dinette is huge. In this length of trailer, you usually don't get both. And right here, you do have some cup holders for those cold snacks, 2 cup holders. The couch itself, so from that end to that end, you're looking at 55 inches or 4 feet 7 inches. Now, one thing I didn't show you, when the bed is down, I had a customer that just bought one and they put a residential mattress in there because they were just going to keep the bed mostly down. When this bed is down, it comes down just enough to where you could still get by. When that bed is down, you still have 2 feet of walk room from the dinette seat to the bed. If you, I will try to maybe put it down before we go outside, but you do have 2 feet of walkway, so you don't always have to keep that bed up to walk in here. You could keep it down permanently if you wanted to. So love the couch, extra seating, a little more comfy. Over here to the left, you kind of have your end tables on both sides. These end tables are going to be 12 by 23, so a decent size. If you're kicking back, you have some drinks right there. Then you have hanging wardrobes on both sides with the nice glass inlay. It's got the lights, the glow. These are going to be the same on both sides. So I will just show this one. These wardrobes are going to be 11.5 by 20 and 31 inches tall for both hanging wardrobes. Down below, you do have some added storage. I think I forgot to measure these ones. I did forget to measure these ones, but it's probably about the same size as this top part. So you'll get this on both sides, and then right there is where your bypass valves are for when you're ready to winterize it. Nice front half of the trailer. You got plugs, even more plugs where you're sitting. So not just behind the bed, you also have them right here. So if someone's sitting there, maybe they want to work on their computer, hang out and get on their tablet, they can. You got some drawers down below. They're not super deep. I'd imagine it's because they don't want you to overload these. These are going to be 15 by 21 and 3.5 inches deep. So 2 drawers there. Pretty nice. Now turn you around nice and slowly. One of my sticky notes fell and it was for the interior height. I think I found it. So here is your kitchen area. Not bad. Can't expect a whole lot of counter space in this length of unit, but they do give you an opportunity to use this whole area because you can use the stovetop as prep space, and they give you this cutting board that goes over top the sink as prep space. This whole area is going to be 23.5 by 51. 23.5 by 51. So if you're just making sandwiches, you can utilize all this. Chop up the lettuce and all that good stuff, the tomatoes, you got plenty of room. 23.5 by 51. And then if you need a little more extension, a little more counter space, you got this extension right here. Oh, didn't lock. There we go. So you got this extension right here, right next to the stovetop. So if you have some veggies or chicken that you're putting on a pan, you got this extension that's gonna be 15 by 16. And when you're ready to actually use the stovetop, you'll just flip this back. And then that you got your grease backsplash right here so you don't get grease on the wall. And this is a 2-top burner. I hear it all the time. Some people like the 2-top burner because they say they can't fit 3 pots and pans anyway when it's the 3-burner cooktop. So 2-burner cooktop, you got your fancy dancy lights right there. And then when you're done using it, just flip this back over. As we move to the left, you got a nice deep undermount sink. This nice cutting board with the engraving. Probably wouldn't want to use that because it looks nice where it is. And then you can put it over here. Everywhere has a place for things. Put that up there and look at how big this sink is. The 25 model, I've mentioned it in a lot of my other videos. They got rid of the one with the trays and the waterfall spout because they were having recalls. So there was leaks happening in that waterfall spout. So I'm happy they rectified that and kind of just went with the tried and true simple sink. This sink right here is going to be 13 by 21 and 6 inches deep. So nice deep sink to actually put pots and pans in. You do have this faucet right here. Love the gold accent on the faucet. You still got your waterfall spout. So if you turn this, you could see it's got that waterfall spout. And then if you need to get nice and personal with those dirty dishes, you could bring that down and spray stuff off. So you still got a nice faucet, and then they do still give you that cup cleaner. So when you put your cups on there, it'll kind of swoosh around and clean your cups. I always mention it. Do not push this when you're out looking at trailers. Antifreeze will get everywhere, and I've seen it happen, and I did it to my manager. Down below, you do have some cabinet space as well as some drawers, which I love. Sometimes they don't give you enough drawers for your utensils. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 drawers right here. These are going to be 9 by 20 and 4 inches deep for those 3 drawers right there. So not super deep, but they are long to put all of your utensils. What do you guys think of that green tone? It looks a little different. It's not as dark as the 25 green, it seems like. And I like the gold accented handles, raised beveled edge. You got hidden hinges, just the little details that people sometimes miss when they're out looking at trailers, including the magnets. They usually use the rolly pins. They're like these things that roll and you push it in. They get weak and stretch out. Last thing you want is your dishes and plates and bowls to be broken on the floor. If you notice, you do have easy access to your plumbing right here and the sink. That top part is going to be 23 by 32 and 13 inches tall to the actual sink. And then down below, it's a little shorter. That's going to be 13 by 32 and 16 inches tall. So a nice place to put your soaps, maybe your drying racks, all that good stuff, cleaning supplies. Now up above, you do have cabinet space for your plates and bowls, cups, things like that. And just keep in mind, this is a couples coach, so you don't need to bring like a whole, kitchen along in this. Maybe bring just enough bowls and plates. This can be 12 by 31 and 14 inches tall for up here. Not bad. You do have your light fan combo. So if you're like me and you burn stuff, you do have the vent that will actually exhaust the smoke out when you're burning something. You obviously don't have an oven in this, but check it out. They made it up and gave you an air fryer, baby. Woo! Look at that. You can bake, air fryer, convection, roast. So you got all the options in this one unit. It's not super big, but if you like air fryers, I didn't think I'd like an air fryer, and now we use it probably 2-3 times a week. They work amazing. So you will get the air fryer, convection, and standard microwave right there to make up for not having that oven. Overall, nice kitchen. I'm not upset with that. Now, moving on. Turn you around nice and slow. You got your 10 cubic foot, 12 volt refrigerator. Yes, 10 cubic foot. This thing is deep. So these things cool a lot faster. They've pretty much gotten away with gas electric. So instead of you having to put it on the night before, these things will cool in like 15 minutes. You'll start feeling it chill. And they're also a lot deeper because there is no metal coils in the back. So it's going to be a lot more efficient, and you're also going to get a much deeper fridge. So really like these refrigerators just with how fast they work. Close that. Now, moving to the left of the fridge, you're probably thinking, man, there is just not enough storage in this. You got nice storage right here, almost floor to ceiling storage right there. That will be your heater right there, so it's not exactly floor to ceiling. If you look right here, you got a nice big open storage area right here, and then up above as well. I would have liked some shelving, but I mean, you could probably add that pretty easy. These are going to be 14.5 by 24. Both of these, 14.5 by 24, and then the top one is 27 inches tall, and the bottom one is 24 inches tall. So really great storage. I actually had a customer the other day mention this. She said, I just don't like when the stove is right next to the bathroom. So if that's you, if you think that's a little funky, you do have, you know, space between the stovetop. I've never heard it before, but if that's you, it is nice to have the stove over here kind of away from the bathroom, but really good storage right here. If you notice this little bag right here, you got some attachments for a vacuum system. That's right. This thing has the road vac, a couple nice options with this. So you could hook your attachments, your long hose into this, and it has got some power. And then that last little bit of dirt, you know, you just can't seem to get up when you're sweeping. You can use that, or bam, sweep it right into there. How sweet is that? You can just lift it up with your foot. That is going to only work off of if you're plugged into shore power or a generator. So it is not 12 volt, but a really nice option, you know, when you're done camping, to kind of make sure you get all the debris up, the rocks from going in and out. So you will get the road vac. I'll just set this back in there. Pretty long hose too. That is a nice feature. So now turning you around, just tons of things. It kind of checks a little bit of everything, checks a lot of the boxes. So turn you around nice and slow. I would say you can maybe sit 2 children on this, but mainly it's a 2-seater dinette right here that will convert into a bed. So it is big enough. The table, you know, like I always say, if you want to ruin some relationships and pull out that Monopoly board game, it is big enough. It's 20 by 37 for the actual tabletop itself. And it's on a sturdy like setup right here. It has the telescoping pole right here, and you could just bring it down. So when you're ready to make it into a bed, all you have to do is push this in. I can't do it with one hand, but you push it down, and then you could bring it down to these tabs right here, and then you throw your cushions on top. So the nice thing about that is it is a pretty good sized bed. If you have, you know, an occasional guest, maybe they just hung out a little too long, maybe had some drinks, you got a place to sleep them. It is going to be 30 by 72 or 6 feet long. So if you're 6'1", 6'5", it might be a little harder, but 6 feet, I feel like is comfortable. You can sleep an adult here, no problem. There is some different ways you can utilize this too. So it has this tab. Look at that. How cool is that? So you can shuffle it from side to side. You can even bring it out a little bit. Well, that's pretty sweet. One thing I like is maybe, you know, you bring a child with you and you're maybe a little bigger on this side. You want to bring it over here to their side, or if kids are eating, you know, you could bring it up to them a little closer. So pretty cool table, like the setup, and it is sturdy. This thing is going nowhere. Heavy duty pole. A lot of times those other poles that you stick in, they get loose and they start getting wobbly. So you're not going to have that issue on this table right here. You do have storage areas on both sides. This one is a little smaller. So I didn't measure it, but the reason it is smaller is because you have this area maybe for shoes. So on the other side, you do have the same storage. This is probably the amount of storage you're getting on the other side. This is going to be 23 by 24 and 15 inches tall underneath this dinette. It looks like it's screwed in, so you can't lift up the actual board where the dinette is, so you have to get to it from here. These are those rolly pins I'm talking about. So it looks like they use them on like the storage doors, maybe on the floor where you don't have to worry. But I'm happy they did do the magnetic ones in the kitchen area where your glassware is going to be. Now, you do have more storage up above. This is going to be great for like entertainment stuff, maybe board games. Love the contrasting colors. If you notice, we're going from that green to the whiter tone. This whole storage area is going to be 10.5 by 69 and 14.5 inches tall right there. See how these ones are magnets? So I'm happy they put magnets on these higher shelves, cabinet spaces up above. Still got that gold accented handle. Now, talking about interior height. Let me grab my sticky note real quick. Talking about your interior height, This is going to be one of the smaller no-bows. I think usually you get 6 feet 8 inches in the bigger ones. In this trailer, you're going to get 78 inches or 6 feet 6 inches of interior height. So from floor to ceiling, 6 feet 6 inches, which is a lot more than like the E Pro. So if you are taller, this is a very nice option to go with. It does have a 15,000 BTU Furrion air conditioner, so about as big as you can get. For this size of unit, you are going to be nice and cool in here. Now, talking about the floor space you have, because obviously that's going to be people's concern without a slide out. So when you're walking through, you have plenty of space. You got 2 feet 8 inches from the dinette area to the cabinet or countertops over here. So you can actually be cooking, especially right here, because the dinette's not in the way. You could easily be cooking and people be able to get by and go to the bathroom. So 2 feet 8 inches roughly, because obviously the fridge sticks out a little bit more. But pretty much what you're working with is 2 feet 8 inches right there for the walking floor space. I would have liked to maybe see the TV over there, but they did put it here. So if you're sitting at the bed, it'll be a little closer. It is a 12-volt smart TV, so it's got all the apps ready to go, and you can swivel it. So being 12-volt, it's nice because you can, run it anywhere without having a generator or shore power. So yeah, that's probably my only thing I noticed is maybe the TV placement, because if you're sitting at the couch right here, it's kind of close. But I mean, you're out camping, you shouldn't be watching TV, you should be outside fishing. But if it was over there, it'd be straight on. That's probably my only gripe if I'm nitpicking. But nonetheless, it's in front of the bed, which is nice. So if you're someone that likes to watch TV in bed, it is still in a decent placement. So we will move on to the bathroom. We're going to get into features and options after this. I try to just show you kind of the lay of the land, what we're working with. As you see, you do have a pocket door, a sliding door, which is going to give you a lot more space. Where like the Flagstaff E Pro, you have a swinging door, and that does tend to take up a little more space. So we'll open that. Just know these pocket doors, there's no lock, just a magnet. So make sure you knock before you come in. Uh-oh, there's a dog outside. Look at all of this floor space. Anytime you get a bathroom in the back, it's going to be a lot more spacious. And I also love it because you get a lot of linen storage to the left. So like always, the first thing I tell you guys to do is to check out the toilet, sit on it, make sure it's comfortable when you're out looking at them. This is going to be a porcelain throne. On the 25 models, they used to be plastic. So when they got rid of that sink, I'm kind of happy they didn't just keep the money. They actually gave you some upgrades like the toilet and one other thing. So we'll sit on this toilet. Not bad. The porcelain toilet's going to stay a little cleaner. And also it's not going to make some crazy noises when you sit on it if you are bigger. So from the toilet seat to the wall, you got 18 inches. So plenty of knee room there. I can almost stretch my legs out. I am 5'7". Put my sticky note away and then I'll turn you around. Not bad right here. So right-handed people, whew, it's about equal on both sides. So not bad. I feel like can't expect much more. I'm happy with the floor space they gave you. So when you get out and actually dry off, you do have 26 by 40 and a half kind of for this space right here. So like I said, you can get out, you can move around in here comfortably. It is not tight back here. Now, what I really love about this layout is the storage they give you in this bathroom. Look at this. Dang! Lots of storage. This pretty much is floor to ceiling storage. I didn't measure that one because it's kind of a little funky, but I like that they gave it to you instead of just kind of walling it off. These storages are massive, so this is nice if you need to bring some extra winter clothes along. You're going to different climates. You have a place to hang some extra stuff. This is going to be 19 by 20 and a half and 48 inches tall. That is great right there. Over here you have more linen storage. This is going to be good for towels, maybe the TP, all those bathroom essentials. These are going to be 18 by 20 and a half, ranging from 18 inches tall, 15 inches tall, and 14 inches tall. So pretty happy with this bathroom so far. And they gave you a window. Might seem like a small detail, but a lot of times they don't give you windows. And then if they do, they don't give you an opportunity to actually open it. So you can open this window, which is a huge plus. Over here to the right, pretty standard stuff. You got your medicine cabinet. Put my hand there. And your toothbrush holder right there. Of course, you got your mirror to check out the hairdo. Down below, not a ton of counter space right here. So, but you do have a deep sink. This is going to be roughly 8 by 11 and 5.5 inches deep. Down here, you got easy access to your plumbing. Not really too much storage there. This does have a tankless water heater right here. So there is the control for it. You take as long of a shower as you want. It has settings. So if if your girlfriend likes lava or significant other likes lava for water, they can have their settings and you can have yours. You got your light switch and your plug for that straightener and hair dryer. Now, talking about the shower, really, really nice upgrade from the ePro, just because I think that those showers tend to be a little tight. Now, I measured a couple different ways because the measurements they give you are kind of like the enclosure. The place you can actually stand in, see how it curves in, is going to be 19 by 35. And then the enclosure itself is 22 by 38. So you can actually get in there. Let me show you. Like I said, 5'7", 250 pounds of pure muscle, baby. Look at that. I can actually bring my shoulders out, do the noodle arm. Got plenty of space. It's got the skylight to bring in some natural light as well as give you some more interior height in the shower. The enclosure is nice. I like the enclosure versus like the shower curtain because then it starts to stick to you. But look at that. And then it just locks into place. And there is absolutely no way for water to get out. Look at that. This is kind of tucked on the side of it. And then even over here, they have some caulking right here. It's butted up nicely against the shower enclosure. So not bad. Oh my God, I thought I got stuck. All right, put that in. Now talking about the height you actually have in this unit. From the floor to, or from the shower pan to actually touching the skylight, you got 6 feet, 3 inches or 75 inches. So a lot of room in this shower, a little bit of a step up, but not a big deal right there. These don't come with the shower miser like the Flagstaffs, but it's always something you can add. They give you a really nice upgraded shower head right there. It's got some antifreeze in it, so I don't want to lift it up too much. But overall, really nice. And of course, they gave you the big fart fan. Woo! And it's got the 4 speeds, so this thing will definitely pull out some air, potential smells, the condensation, all that stuff. And the other thing I like that they started doing on the 26s is they gave you a cover for the vent. So it's a rain cover. If you accidentally leave it open, you won't have to worry about water getting in here. Also, it's nice if you're going down the road, you could keep it open. And then, when you get to your campsite, you won't be so stuffy in here. But overall, nice bathroom. You got the fancy dancy wallpaper. You got Lassie. You got a cactus, a snake, Cowboy Dan. You got the tent. Just the little details that I like. Pretty neat. Now, talking about some of the features this thing has. This will have 400 watts of solar and a 2,000 watt inverter. Now, this is where the Beast Mode package comes in. If you don't get the Beast Mode package, you're only going to get 200 watts of solar and a inverter prep. Now, the inverter is huge in my opinion because a lot of these plugs, what's nice is they're tied into the inverter. So whenever you're maybe not using a generator or shore power, some of these plugs are actually going to be able to work without being hooked up. So that's the benefit of the inverter as well. So 400 watts of solar, 2,000 watt inverter, get all of your outlets hot. Talking about outlets, you have one there, and then I showed you the 2 up front and then 2 behind the bed. And then I showed you one right there up above. So plenty of plugs no matter where you're sitting. And then you do have your roller shades right here with a nice big window on this campsite. Sometimes they don't give you enough windows on the campsite. And what's the point in that? So you can actually kick back, see the view, and this will open to get a nice breeze in here if you don't want to be running your air conditioner. Probably one of the other biggest features this does have, if you're someone that dry camps, or not dry camps, camps in cold weather, right here. So this is a portion of your control panel. You have all your readings for your black, gray, fresh. You got your water heater, water pump, just flip a switch, it'll do its thing. But up here, if we look, you got heated holding tanks, fresh, gray, and black. So what that is basically they have 12-volt heat pads on every single tank. And really there's 3 ways to have a heated and enclosed underbelly, or heat your underbelly, but I don't really count radiant heat. The 2 ways that I think are great options is you can either have a heated and enclosed underbelly with a duct going under there, or you can have the 12-volt heat pads. And I always explain this. I'm sorry I repeat myself, but I like to go in depth on this. The 12-volt heat pads are nice because if you're going down the road, let's say you're driving from Florida and you're going on a long trip, you're going to be going to Colorado and it's freezing temps in there. What are you going to do if your tanks are filled and you're going down the road? I'm pretty sure it's illegal. You can't have your heater running while you're going down the road. So with this system, all you do is flip the switch, and when you're going down the road, those 12-volt heat pads will prevent your tanks from freezing. So that is a huge reason why I like them. The other reason why I like them is because if you are out on the town, maybe you're going to go fishing, go get a bite to eat, do you want to be wasting propane heating that underbelly when you're not actually in the trailer? Propane is not cheap, so me personally, I would love the option to just flip a switch, go on with my day, and then once I get back in the trailer, you could kick that heater on when you're ready to actually be in the trailer versus just keeping it going to keep that underbelly heated. So now you're probably like, well, won't that drain my batteries? You got the solar, 400 watts of solar, 2,000 watt inverter, like I said. So that's going to constantly keep those batteries recharged. And I haven't seen anyone need to add more solar than what it already comes with to support, the stuff that runs off of the battery, like the fridge and the solar, your lights, stuff like that. So it's got a pretty nice solar package and inverter on this. Does have Bluetooth speakers inside and out. So you can see one here, one there. And then the actual control for that will be right here. So you can pick A and B. So you got your outside speakers, you got your awning lights, porch lights, interior lights, all that good stuff. Now, one thing I like is if you turn the lights off, they're all off. If you turn them all on, they're all on. How annoying would it be if you have to have your lights on all the time? What if one person's just kicking back over here reading a book? Small little detail, but a lot of companies don't do this. You can turn them off individually to create the ambiance that you want or the situation that you're in if you're just relaxing and don't want all the lights on. You got your 30 amp solar controller right here for the solar panels. See what they're doing, the batteries and stuff like that. Overall, really nice unit. What do you think? It does not feel like it doesn't have a slide, and the length is perfect. You're not going to have any issues going to national parks. They get a little picky on the lengths. I love this layout. It is so nice for a couple. A lot of ways you can utilize the space in here. It is great. So let's go outside. You do have your screen door right here. And let's go. Oh, it is a beautiful day outside today. Look at that. Big skies, nice weather. I don't even have the AC going inside. This is like perfect weather to me. I will stop right here just to kind of show you this. So this is the C series. This is what you get if you don't get the beast mode package. And like I said, you only get 200 watts and inverter prep. If we come down here, you do get the cover for the vent, filter, 400 watts of solar, and of course the beast mode. We'll talk about the construction as well once we get around this. As you can see, you got some heavy duty solid steps that fold right into the doorway. Those are nice because you could adjust each leg depending on if you're, on uneven surface like that. Now, moving on to the front. You got your electric tongue jack, 20-pound propane tanks with the cover. You also have your battery area right here, and it does have the battery disconnect right there. So when you're ready to actually store this, just shut your batteries off. It's got the nice rugged fiberglass cap with LED lights that wrap around right here. So it looks really cool at night. The storage you're getting on this, you got your slam latches or luggage latches. These just flip right up, magnetic. Now, this is some important construction stuff we're gonna get to in just a second. This is your storage, pass-through storage. It does come with a griddle that will hook on over there, and I will show you that. Flagstaff stopped doing that. I'm kind of a bummer, so I'm happy they keep doing that. This storage area right here is gonna be 24 by 86 and 17.5 inches tall. Now, if we look at this, For one, you see that it's nice treated wood. It's not particle board, but the aluminum framing is huge. This is a 6-side aluminum frame trailer, meaning the front wall, the back wall, both side walls, the roof, and the floor is all aluminum framed. A lot of times, you know, these companies will just slap a sticker on the side and it'll say aluminum framing, but it's mixed with wood. So if you're out looking at a trailer, definitely ask the sales guy, is it 6-side aluminum frame? So very high quality construction. And then you got your USB, USB-C light right there. You do have a filter on that side. I'll try to show you, but there's a dog. Might bark when we're on the other side. So that's your storage right there. Nice big marine grade speakers on the outside. You got your awning lights as well as a nice big awning right there. You do have hot and cold water. So your shower. So if you want the significant other, you want to kick them out, they can shower outside. You got your coil hose right here that hooks up and your sprayer. I love the new bracket that they're doing on the Nobo. So this might be another upgrade versus that little railing they used to do. This seems a little safer for the griddle. And then you got a nice metal tray for prep stuff, you know, if you got your seasonings out and stuff like that. What do you think of the decals? The green machine. It's got the goat, really cool. Now, moving to the back, once we get around, I'll show you the beast mode suspension and talk about that. You are getting an actual mud tire, all-terrain tire, whereas like on the E-Pro, they only give you a road tire. So all matching tires, that is very cool. And then I love that they put the tankless water heater on the back because it allows for that door on the side to be the same size as the other one. You do have a ladder prep. If you buy it, it's a Lippert ladder, and it's nice because it telescopes, it's lightweight, and it's kind of at an angle, so it's a little safer when you get up there and check everything out. So obviously I can't get on the roof because I don't have a ladder. Now I'll walk around real quick, and once we go around, I'll show you the other side. There is your drains right there, black and gray. What I like is, see how it has this dovetail right here? Whereas most trailers, it's just flat. So it's got like a dovetail on the front and on the back. So when you're going down steep inclines and you come up, you're not going to be dragging your plumbing or your jacks, anything like that. So the dovetail definitely helps if you're going on uneven surfaces and going up and down. Really small detail, but it's cool that they do that. Like I said, no slide out. It does have the potable water. Like I said, 30-gallon tank, city water for when you're at a campground. And same size storage door because that water heater is on the back. If you get the beast mode suspension, you will get the filter. It will filter all of your water, shower, sink, everything right there. So that's pretty cool. That's an upgrade with the beast mode. Now let's talk about the beast mode suspension. Check this thing out. How sweet is this? Well, for one, look at those nice rugged tires. I like the wheels. Oh, let's check it out. Oh man, I've been running so much. I am so sore, but look at that. What? How sweet is that? So Curt independent suspension. As you notice, there's no axle in the middle. So if you're going through a rough terrain and there's a big boulder in the road, you're not going to hit your axle against it. I believe it has 5 inches of flex, nitrogen filled shocks right there. The cool thing about this suspension is it has active load leveling. So you do not need a weight distribution hitch with these no boundaries as long as it has the beast mode. They actually do not want you using a weight distribution hitch because of that active load leveling that this has. If you do not get the beast mode though, you're gonna have to get that weight distribution hitch. So you're gonna have those big metal bars that you're gonna have to put on every time. Really cool that you could just, you know, hook up and go without having that big bulky weight distribution hitch. Just awesome. So you got to imagine this is going to tow a lot better, but how much more is it going to help the actual frame of the trailer? You hit a big pothole or a boulder, it's not going to transfer into the frame of the trailer. And this thing sits high. Look at that. I'm almost sitting underneath this thing. So that lift does help as well. And as you notice, like I said, it's all heated and enclosed. It's all buttoned up nicely down here. Really cool. I love it. Low point drains right there. And then that is your propane line right there for the griddle. Now let's talk about how they construct these walls. Oh, try not to hit my head on anything. So the way that they make these walls is it'll go fiberglass, then it'll either go Luan or a composite material. Then it'll go the rigid block foam, then your aluminum framing, and then your inner walls. Luan is just a thin sheet of wood that they put behind fiberglass, and it's a wood material. And what happens when wood gets wet? It starts to get moldy, starts to deteriorate. It literally starts to what's called delaminate. So the walls start to separate. You've probably seen it out there. The walls start to, my camera is following me. The walls start to get wavy on older trailers. And that is an indication that you have water damage. And now everything is separating. That is not good. Let me do this so that my camera doesn't follow me no more. If we look right here, this is what the composite material is called. This is the brand. This is Asdel. So they put that composite material in water for months and months and months. It did not degrade. It did not change the integrity of the material. So this does have that composite outer wall, which is huge. That's just the brand. So if you're out looking at other trailers, just ask the sales guy, does it have a composite outer wall? Woo. These are a lot, but I try to give you as much info as I can so you can see how well these are constructed. You got the 6-side aluminum framing, you got the composite outer walls, the suspension. Like if you're wanting a trailer that is meant to last and you want to go off the beaten path and you don't want it falling apart, I promise you if you go with a cheap trailer and you go places this trailer can, you're gonna have cabinetry falling off the wall. It's not good. So this is really catering to someone that wants quality and wants the trailer to last. I hope you guys enjoyed that tour. If you want to know where I'm located at Albuquerque RV in Albuquerque, New Mexico. My phone number will be down below in the description. It's the dealership. If you call in, please ask for Tyler. I am not a YouTuber. I'm a full-time salesperson. So if you could ask for me, I really appreciate it. I put a lot of work into these videos. Also, if you don't ask for me, we are on a rotating list. And if you don't ask for me, you could end up with another sales guy. So that's the reason I ask for you to ask for me, unless you just don't like me, which is cool too. Another thing is we go live every Sunday, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is tomorrow. We're going on 12 weeks of doing this. It's a lot of fun. People get on, and all my subscribers, you have to be subscribed to leave comments, but you could say, hey, I'm looking for a 5,000-pound trailer, 25 feet, what you got? And then we tour the whole lot together, and I show you all the different options we have. So you can see stuff from the comfort of your couch without having to go deal with a salesman. And then the other cool thing is you could just ask me anything that pertains to RVs. No one will see you, but you could type out questions. It's a lot of fun. If you're not, hit that subscribe button, baby. We are almost to 7K in a little over a year starting this channel, and I couldn't have done it without you guys. Also, if I deserve it, only if I deserve it, there'll be a link down below to leave a 5-star review if you've gotten any benefit out of my videos or I've helped you in any way. It helps me more than you could imagine, as well as the dealership, because we are between two big corporate dealerships. And like I said, we're just locally owned. So if you could do that, takes 5 minutes, I would really appreciate it. So we'll be back tomorrow with the live at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I hope you guys have a good evening, a good night, a good morning whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Oh, it's following me again. Stop. See you guys.